In this episode, I'm going to share with you 10 fitness lies that high achievers fall for and what to do instead. Now, I could have done a 10-hour episode on this. It's basically highlighting 10 bullshit myths that people are fed, whether it's through social media or simply people who do not know what they're doing, whether it's a coach or an influencer. So if you listen to this and sometimes you're confused on things you might have heard or read or watched, then this episode is for you. I'm going to keep it under 10 minutes again, just like the last few episodes. And as always, I would love your takeaways at the end. Number 1, lifting heavy makes me stiff or slow. Strength amplifies athleticism. Of course, as you get older, you're going to feel stiff sometimes if you're lifting lots. But generally speaking, strength is a phenomenal tool to lengthen your muscle fibers properly and shorten muscle fibers properly. Strength training is basically mobility, but with resistance. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have as we get older. But if you are not lifting because of the excuse of it's going to make me stiff or slow, stop it. It's bullshit. What you don't move, you lose. You will move better when you lift better. If you're lightly stiff or slow, you're probably not lifting correctly. Number 2, I don't have time for long workouts. This is an excuse, or you've seen it as it's a myth that you're being fed in by that's putting you off consistently training. Ignore it. You don't need long workouts. You just need workouts with a little bit more intensity. Less but high quality beats doing nothing, as I've said over and over again. If you don't have time for long workouts, make time for better workouts. Number 3, this is one I see that a lot of people who struggle with their weight, that a lot of people who struggle with their weight struggle with. And that is more cardio equals more fat loss. You think if you're sweating, you're going to lose more fat. If you're under eating protein and just under eating calories in general, and you're not strength training properly and you're doing lots of cardio, you are not going to lose fat. You're going to lose muscle or whatever muscle you do have. It's bullshit. Prioritize strength and building muscle first, then conditioning. Of course, you ideally want to do both, but strength is your foundation for everything. If you want to be fitter, you need strength, you need muscle. Or at some point, your body will break down, you'll get injured. I've seen it over and over again. And don't be sucked in by this bullshit that you will burn more fat doing more cardio. You want a mixture of weights and cardio mobility. But you're never going to lose fat if you're not in a calorie deficit with high quality real food and strength training. Number 4, another lie. I'll start after this project is done. The next level to a better you starts with focusing on your health now. So many people bullshit themselves or lie to themselves because they wait till they've got a project done to actually start. In order for you to be consistent with your shape, your weight, your health, it has to be factored into your life every week, every month, just like you factor in these projects into your life most weeks. Number 5, and this was something I definitely said to myself during my 20s when my sleep was an absolute car crash, and that is, sleep is for the weak. Sleep when you're dead. Weak men rely on caffeine for energy. Strong, high-performing men, or more bluntly put, disciplined men, rely on creating more energy. And that starts with sleep. You can be eating great food, getting your steps in. These things obviously contribute towards more energy, but nothing is going to buy back more energy for you than prioritizing sleep. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have. And there's so many deeper health benefits that you'll get from this too. The next one, and this is more specifically for people who are not where they want to be with their shape and weight and health. I eat clean so I don't need to track. Now, if you're someone listening to this in fantastic shape, consistent as fuck year round, then you probably don't need to track. I don't. But for the majority of people, if you are not where you want to be and you've not been able to maintain a consistent body weight or some agency every week, every month with your health, I strongly encourage you to either track your calories or at least take pictures of your food or write down and create a food log of what you eat. You need to create awareness to look at more granularly, what am I eating and what needs to change if I'm not where I want to be. But a lot of people ignore this and just presume. And a lot of the time they don't have the attention to detail needed, certainly when it comes to their food. Remember, what gets measured improves. You've done it in business. I'm sure you do it every week or every month or so with your finances. Number 7. This is a biggie. I can outwork a bad diet. No, you can't. I'm a big fan of training your way into shape as much as possible, using performance as a big KPI to eat more calories by training with more intent. But you cannot outwork excessive calories. You just cannot outwork excessive calories. If this were true, every entrepreneur would be shredded, but they're not. If you're fat and you're overweight, you're eating too much food. No matter how many times you train, no matter how many steps you get in, if you're overweight and you carry more fat than what you want, you are eating too much food. There's no sugarcoating away from it. 8. If I'm busy, don't eat. If I'm busy, I don't eat. Undereating will kill performance. Undereating, especially during the day, will cause you to binge at the end of a day. Right? So you don't need to be as rigid as eating at an exact time. I don't. But you do want to create some form of predictability with your meal frequency across the day if you are to get agency and control over your health. You'll probably find if you're skipping meals, your energy and focus in the PM is falling short. You have the 2, 3, 4 PM crash if you're lucky, if you last that long. As I said in the previous episode, look at food as fuel. It's a performance hack. Number 9, protein shakes will fix my diet. No, it won't. It's simply a tool that will allow you to hit your protein target on a given day. Fix your food first with real food, certainly with protein, and then look at supplements. I have a protein shake a day because I have 2 solid meals a day and it allows me to top up my protein. But first and foremost, real food wins the game. Curb hunger so much more as well. And the last one, recovery isn't as important as training. Yes, it is. Arguably, it's more important. You cannot train to your optimum. You cannot get fitter, faster, stronger, build muscle anytime quick if you're not recovering. It's as simple as that. It's bit me in the arse so many times it's untrue. Whenever I've neglected sleep, the recovery, my performance has dipped. And this is so easy to neglect when you've got a lot on in work, you've got family commitments. But I would argue if you are absolutely shattered, don't just grind out results. Don't just grind out your training. Get a good night's sleep and watch how much better you feel. And if you need any help with your health and fitness, you know where Built to Last is. We work with high achievers, and all of these lies, myths, excuses, we remove them emphatically. As long as you're a committed, coachable individual, if you need hands-on help, and as you listen to this episode, you are still stuck spinning your wheels across any single aspect of your health, your emotions, your beliefs, your environment, which dictates whether or not you implement the habits towards great health, you know where we are. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.